home for information and understanding is right where it's always been on WTIU.
It's a circus theme this year. Last year it was a Disney kind of theme. Star of Indiana is going to create on the field, in a moment, a circus, a three-ring circus, Don.
Looking forward to seeing it. Last time I saw the show was the very beginning of the season, and as a matter of fact, I think it was their first performance, June 19th, and I'm looking forward to see what they've done with the program.
Well, I can tell you, just looking down on the field right now, I recognize that there have been some changes since the last time I saw it. And what about making changes up until the last moment?
Well, that's what it's all about. You know, they're working and massaging that program and building it until they get to the night in August that they're after. And this program is going to be in the building stages all the way until that time.
Well, this was a corps that burst on the scene about 3 years ago and finished in the top 12 the first year, almost unheard of.
Is unheard of. No corps has ever done that before. And they've stayed there.
Well, let's go down because we're about to be entertained in the three-ring circus Barnum and Bailey variety. Joe Bruno on the field will introduce it. This is the Star of Indiana, Bloomington's own Star of Indiana.
Think back to the happy times when you were just a kid. When the most exciting news you could get was that your parents had tickets to the circus. And when you got to the arena, everything was dark. And although there were thousands of people in the crowd, you couldn't hear a sound. Until a light split the darkness and a man in top hat and tails said, "Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, welcome to the Star of Indiana's greatest show on earth. You'll see animals and acrobats. You'll see jugglers and clowns. Ringmaster Becky Wood, is your circus ready?"
No! Ready, set!
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not, Becky. Here.
Star of Indiana, you may now perform the greatest show on earth.
Don Pescioni, I have seen this show several times this season. This is a different show than I've seen prior to this. They have made many changes.
Doesn't surprise me. It's a different show than the one I saw, too. It's a great show. It's good. The only thing I would say as a criticism would be that it lacks drama. Circus has drama. It has tenseness and excitement. This show features more of the music of the circus with the filler, the teddy bears and the elephants and the juggler and things of that kind. I think if it's missing something that would take it to the next level, which would be the championship level in terms of our act, so to speak, it would be that nuance, that little thing that'll make it big time. It's certainly quality. Boy, they can play. That juggler's a pro. I can't believe he's really very, very good. Everything is there. It just isn't all put together in the same in the fashion that'll make it a winner.
From a judge's standpoint, are they giving the audience too much to look at?
No, because that's the circus. You know, the circus offers you 3 rings. I think their focus is pretty good. It's far improved.
It's not like some corps, though. It's Santa Clara. There was a clear focus throughout.
Correct.
This corps took you to what they wanted you to look at.
That's correct.
There were times here where you
but
weren't
it's
sure.
taken them 2 years to put that program together.
The same show.
That's correct.
Okay.
This program here is in the development
Brand
stage.
new show.
That's right.
Last year it was
this
Disney.
may be one of those 2-year programs. I think the concept's wonderful. I think the performers are exciting. I got duck bumps just talking about it.
That one march when that whole line moves forward.
Oh my! I wanted to join.
Well, the kids ran away to join the Velvet Knights. You want to run away to join Star Circus, huh? It's a gorgeous night. It's a beautiful show. It's been a marvelous evening of entertainment. There's one thing left.
Yeah, it's sort of sad that you have to give these groups numbers. I think this was an awfully entertaining show, top to bottom. I think the people had incredible variety. They certainly have seen the gamut of the idioms that are offered in drum corps, and I think they've seen sparkling performances by most all the corps here tonight, and heavy air or not, man, these corps can play.
Well, we're going to do something we haven't done in the past with the Pride of Indiana show. We're going to go down on the field, and we're going to see this massing of the corps, which is one of the most spectacular things you can see at a drum corps performance. They're all going to come out on the field. They're all going to line up, and then they're going to make the announcement. So let's get ready and go down for that now.
The next time, ladies and gentlemen, you hear someone ask what's wrong with our youth, take them to a drum corps show. Here's what's right with our youth. They pass in review now. Let's recognize them one more time. From Kitchener, Waterloo, Ontario, Canada, the Dutch Boy. From Boston, Massachusetts, the Boston Crusaders. From Dubuque, Iowa, the Colts. From Anaheim, California, the Velvet Knights. From Santa Clara, California, the Santa Clara Vanguard. From Casper, Wyoming, the Troopers. And our own Bloomington, Indiana, Star of Indiana.
Don Pescioni, this is one of the most spectacular things in a drum corps. It's the thing that if you go to this, you stay for it, because one of the things they talk about, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. Well, not only have the judges' results not come in and the fat lady hasn't sung yet, but after the fat lady sings, there's still more.
That's right. Show never stops.
Well, this is what's going on behind us now. Tell us what this is and what the tradition here is and where it comes from.
The tradition is its color. It's been with the activity as long as I've been a part of it. This is my 38th year. The finale, where all the corps come into the arena for the announcement of scores, all the color and the pageantry that goes with that. It's just a part of what we do.
Well, we're going to be going to Joe Bruno, and we'll have the announcement of the results, and then even a better part of all of what happens here, because for these people up in the stands, they're going to have an opportunity. Last year you had a theme, see it, feel it, hear it.
Right.
They're going to feel this music.
You betcha. You betcha.
If you're watching this on a TV set with a little 3-inch speaker on it, you don't have an idea in the world what's happening here.
You got to be here. You have to be here. This is something you just can't explain.
Well, let's see how we did tonight. Let's take a look at the scores for these corps.
Here are the scores. 7th place. Score 73.7. 73.7. The Colts. Well, they've all worked hard. That's okay. Go ahead and applaud. In 6th place, score 74.0, 74 even. The Boston Crusaders. In 5th place, and in 4th place, we have a tie. Score 78.2, 78.2. Both Dutch Boy and the Troopers. Next two are pretty close too. 3rd place, score 88.4, 88.4. The Velvet Knights. Third place, I just read. 2nd place, score 88.8, 88.8. The Star of Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen, our 6th annual Pride of Indiana champions. In 1st place, score 94.9, 94.9, the Santa Clara Vanguard.
Let's take a look at these scores. You can point out what some of the differences are. You've got the numbers in front of you.
Well, I'll take the close ones, the Dutch Boy and the Troopers.
Let me mention what that was. With the Dutch Boys, it was 78.2.
They tied with the Troopers with a 78.2. And the Dutch Boy, I thought, had the edge from upstairs. But when you get down to the field where all the individual things are judged, the Troopers were dominating in percussion execution and dominating in visual. So the general effect and effectiveness of the program was balanced by the field execution of the troopers. So I thought the edge would go to the Velvet or to Dutch Boy. It didn't come out that way. The other one is the closeness of the Velvet Knights and Star of Indiana. I thought they were close, but I thought maybe the Velvet Knights had the edge.
4/10 of a point.
But here again, it was in percussion, and that's the difference. And the thing that the average person, myself included, as far as percussion is concerned, in field execution, you can't sense that.
What might that have been if you were looking at that show again? What would you look for in the percussion that might make that 4/10 of a point difference?
Well, primarily the difference is in all the, at this level anyway, it's not something that the average person can see. It's the quality of the performance of primarily the snare drum section. It isn't the musical enhancement or how well the percussion adds to the music or enhances the music. Those things, I think, they're in these two cases were fairly equal. It was how much better they perform, the quality of the music.
Now let's go into the top core in there. We've got with 94.9, the difference between 88.8 and 94.9.
Well, it's another league. It's another league. In fact, I think it's going to be hard to catch them. A 94, there's only 100 points in the system, and the way they're going right now with the rest of the season, how much of the season there's left, they could go 110. You know?
Has anyone ever scored a perfect score?
No, but we've come close. 98.4, I believe, is the highest.
What has been the most that anyone there? I guess maybe we should ask you first. There are captions. Explain what a caption is. It's an area of judging.
Well, caption is the brass caption, all the brass, everything involved in brass, effectiveness, execution, ensemble performance, and there's percussion, obviously, drum and bugles, and the visual caption, which encompasses all the moving parts and all the visual parts of the program, brass, percussion, and auxiliary. And those three captions make up the scoring system.
What's going on here now is, this is part of the show. This is as much a part of the show to me as sitting there and listening to them. What's going to happen is each of these corps, in reverse order of finish, is going to march by the winning corps in a salute to the winning corps.
It's a pass and review, yes.
And then the winning corps will come forward and play their entire...
That's their option. They play their entire repertoire to do the whole show over again, or they can play a nice number and walk off and leave. Depends on where they have to be tomorrow.
I can't imagine anyone not here not being able to experience what this sounds like here.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. By the way, I might mention that the Santa Clara Vanguard are undefeated in 1987.
That's magnificent.
It's almost, it only happened one other time.
Well, those are the Colts from Dubuque, Iowa that just went past us. They tied tonight with the Troopers from Casper, Wyoming, and they'll be leaving next. What can we say about the Troopers?
Well, the Troopers, as I said, are building their program. They had quite a turnover in the winter, and their corps is rebuilding in terms of maturity. Their program is going to have some changes over the winter. So right now they're trying to do the very best possible show they can for the championship and setting the stage for that.
Wouldn't you know I'm wrong? What's going to leave next? It's the Dutch Boy.
This is the Boston Crusaders.
I'll get it right. The Boston Crusaders.
You were close. Now. One's in Wyoming and the other one's in Boston. Right, neighbors.
Half a continent. That's not too bad. Well, this show tonight, the crowd had an opportunity to see a good variety of what corps is about. Yes. There are probably not a better corps than Santa Clara Vanguard. There are some close, but there are other excellent corps around the country.
Yes, absolutely. We'll have about 80 of them at championship, and you have a good sampling of that group here tonight.
I want to just be quiet here and listen to this as they go by. Wow is just not a big enough word.
I don't know. It's incredible. There they go.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I'm not sure that grunt is Boston baked beans or what. It's been with them so many years as a part of their tradition as well. It's quite an exciting group. One of our better touring groups as well. Lots of tradition.
See who's going to leave next here now.
It looks like a Dutch boy.
Dutch boy is getting ready to leave. You couldn't miss that they were the Canadian Corps because they had the maple leaf on their uniform.
Right.
Let's just listen to them go off.
We might make mention of their nice jazz dance ensemble. Did a very, very nice job.
Maple leaf somewhere on the uniform. All of the members have that. That is a symbol of the Canadian national pride that they have representing their country.
You betcha. And this is the best, as I said before, the best champion group out of Canada.
Let's let the people hear what this sounds like.
You can see the young average age of this group. They seem to be average age about 16, maybe 17 years old. So it's got a lot of room to mature.
Am I mischaracterizing if I say that these kids look a little bit brighter, a little bit sharper, a little bit smarter, and just a darn sight more aggressive and probably success-prone than a lot of kids?
No, these are typical kids.
You say typical.
Well,
what other kid puts in a 12-hour day?
Well, my son marched, so I know the level of the kids in the Corps. This is a typical young people. These are representative of the kids we have in our countries.
Now the troopers are going to be going out of here. Johnny Comes Marching Home Again. That's their signature song from their show. So let's take a listen to them as they go out. Look at that Spirit of 76 flag there.
It's called the Bennington.
Don, the interesting thing here is that Santa Clara is on the other side, so they're going out a different direction than some of the other corps have gone, so they can pass in review.
That's exactly right. They are passing in review, and they get the applause twice because they get to pass in front of the audience again. They're no dummies.
That's right. They may as well play this for all they can.
You betcha.
Everyone's left. The last corps, the winners, the champions, world-class champions, we might add, from what you said earlier, Don. And they are going to do a special concert.
Yes, they're going to do a victory concert.
Like a victory dance?
And
they do a
it
victory
may even
concert.
be in motion.
Well, we're going to see that. I want to remind everyone that you've been watching tonight's Pride of Indiana competition, the 6th annual. We hope you've enjoyed it because, for me, it's been a gas again. I just love this thing.
I enjoyed it very, very much. I enjoyed doing the show, and I enjoyed watching the show as well.
Well, if you could get the electricity that you feel by being here and see what we see in these kids' faces, and for me to feel the accomplishment that they have, it's just a marvelous thing. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's performance, and we want to thank Don Pescioni, Executive Director of Drum Corps International, for being with us here tonight. Good night to you from Bill Armstrong Stadium on the campus of Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana.
The WTIU broadcast of Pride of Indiana is made possible in part by a grant from Monroe Financial Corporation, a full-service discount brokerage in downtown Bloomington, a Cook Group company.
Over 150 years of an American family, 4 generations, the Adams Chronicles. Humble origins don't stop John Adams. He fights